This podcast is an invitation to feel and experience the souls of famous old Hollywood homes and to have an in-depth journey to the areas where they're located through interviews with longtime residents. Either you're a fan of old Hollywood in Los Angeles, planning to have a vacation, or, an even bigger step, considering a certain area for your future home. This is your opportunity to receive valuable information and insightful advice you won't find anywhere else.
Hello, and welcome to my podcast. Are you in the mood for California? Today, we'll explore and feel the history of murals in Los Angeles, followed by an interview with wonderful Rio Diaz.
Community is a big thing for me because that's what they conveyed. They made me feel that I was in my community. You knew where you were. You know where you are by certain landmarks. And in Los Angeles, many times that's a mural. And we're losing a lot. We've lost an incredible amount. But there are techniques and technologies that have been developed by Nathan Sackheim, by Kuba Sackheim, his son, that restore murals. They bring them back to life from where you thought that artwork was never going to survive once it's got painted over. No, they've been restored and brought back. And we need a lot more support because what murals do is create community.
Masha Korpacheva is a California-based realtor and a member of the National Association of Realtors in Los Angeles. She's an advocate for selling and buying homes with soul and practicing mindfulness in real estate. With master's degrees in spiritual psychology and linguistics, Masha brings all of her skills to work with her clients. An intuit and empath, she has touched many lives with her outstanding ability to see beyond the visible and helping to come to better understanding of issues and their resolutions. An adventurous world traveler, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania to exploring the Galapagos Islands, Masha has a particular passion for the City of Angels. Having landed in this paradise and adopted it as her home, she's been sharing old Hollywood stories since 2007. In the mood for California, feel the soul of old Hollywood.
And now, are you ready to experience the history of murals in Los Angeles? Imagine strolling through the streets of Greater Los Angeles, where thousands of vibrant murals adorn the walls, earning this city the coveted title of the mural capital of the world. The story of Los Angeles mural culture is a tale that spans the 20th century, mirroring the social and political movements of its time and celebrating the cultural symbols that define Southern California. This captivating narrative is enriched by the influences of the Chicano art movement and the unique tapestry of Los Angeles itself, blending history with contemporary expression. Murals here are more than art. They're a distinctive form of public expression, coexisting with street art, billboards, and graffiti. But the plot thickened between 2002 and 2013 when a moratorium silenced the creation of new murals. Legal battles erupted, pitting muralists against commercial billboard giants. The city's artistic spirit yearned to break free, and the hero of the story emerged in the form of LA Ordinance Number 182706, known as the Mural Ordinance, breathing life back into the mural scene. Behind the scenes, the City of Los Angeles Department of Cultural Affairs diligently administers mural registration, while numerous programs, including the Mural Conservancy of Los Angeles and the Getty Conservation Institute, strive to preserve and document these living artworks. Yet, Time has claimed some of the city's oldest murals, lost to weathering and urban development. The early murals, like Einar Pettersson's 1912 masterpiece and a 1913 ceramic tile panel, set the stage for the mural renaissance that followed. In the early 1930s, commercial buildings became the canvas of choice for Los Angeles murals. Exceptional work, such as those by David Alfaro Sigueros and Meyer Schaeffer, stood out, often with the support of artistic and cultural institutions. The New Deal era from 1933 to 1943 witnessed the United States government funding federal art projects, giving birth to hundreds of murals across Los Angeles. These artworks depicted rural landscapes, regional history, and the immigrant experience inspired by Mexican muralism. Not all tales had happy endings, though. Some murals funded by the project were painted over, often due to their political themes. Meyer Schaeffer's The Social Aspects of Tuberculosis met a similar fate in 1938 thanks to its communist themes. Intrigue continued to surround the city's mural landscape, with battles over commercial advertising regulation waged in the 1980s and 1990s. The line between murals and billboards blurred, triggering lawsuits and legal complexities. Then, in 2013, a turning point arrived as City Council and Mayor Eric Garcetti introduced LA Ordinance Number 182706, ushering in a new era for non-commercial murals. This move, a testament to the enduring spirit of Los Angeles artistic heritage, rekindled the city's passion for mural art. Today, under the golden California sun, murals across Greater Los Angeles narrate stories of Chicano culture, labor struggles, and the enduring immigrant spirit. These murals are a living testimony to the city's rich history and the power of art to convey its essence. Visitors from around the world are drawn to these iconic murals, each a chapter in Los Angeles' colorful narrative. As you wander the city's streets, the murals beckon with tales of resilience, cultural diversity, and boundless creativity. Los Angeles, the mural capital of the world, invites you to explore its enchanting urban canvas, where every mural whispers a story worth discovering. And here we are. Welcome to Los Angeles, the mural capital of the world. I'm so excited to have wonderful Rio Diaz here with me. Rio Diaz is a curator and painter with a deep passion for social representation in public art. Her murals adorn schools in Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley. She has curated exhibitions at the Jeffrey Deitch Gallery, UCLA's Powell Library, the Los Angeles Mexican Consulate, the Venice Family Clinic, and the Social and Public Art Center. Under the direction of Judy Baca, she is leading a team of artists to create the half-mile expansion of Baca's iconic The Great Wall of Los Angeles mural. This fall, she will accompany Judy and the team transforming LACMA's Resnik Pavilion into a studio to paint a 140-inch long section of the Great Wall mural. Hello, Rio.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I was so looking forward to speaking with you today. You have no idea.
Really? Well,
Yes.
thank you. I'm very flattered. I was too. I was very excited.
Well, you're an incredible artist, and you are a multidisciplinary artist too. And Los Angeles is a very dynamic city, and it's also known for its challenges and, of course, opportunities. My first question to you is, what is your Los Angeles? How would you describe it?
My Los Angeles has been a school, a place where I've learned about myself. I've learned just in the way you have to navigate the city, the way the layout of the city is. You learn to navigate it in a very unique Angelino way. And that goes not just, the streets and freeways, but also in opportunities and areas where you can tap into and find opportunities that lead you to something else that will flourish. And LA lends itself in that way because of the diversity that we have. You can be in so many different neighborhoods, try different culinary dishes, all within a few miles of each other. Mm-hmm. And even though many of us don't go to the beach, we are very happy that it's only a half an hour away without traffic. That's another Angelino thing, right?
Yes.
That we talk about two ways of getting anywhere is without traffic and with traffic.
That's right.
My Los Angeles has been acculturated me as an adult, and it's a world-class city. So that I see of Los Angeles, I continue to learn, it continues to teach me, it continues to evolve, and I evolve with it.
Beautiful. And isn't it the best experience when you continue to evolve together with the city? There is something special about it.
Right. It's a symbiotic relationship. We acclimate to each other. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very true. And in this way, it brings me to my next question. How have the city's dynamics actually impacted your art career? And how do you navigate this ever-changing art scene?
I think that the beauty of the diversity of industry that resides in Los Angeles, there is no one way to do art, for example. Right. And so for me, I began my artistic career in the art department, as many people do, beyond sketching, but as a career. It was in the art department, art directing, building sets for commercials and music videos. I work with Sir Mix-a-Lot, Richard Marx, Vanessa Williams. The principal one is Dick Van Dyke because he was hilarious, right? And just an icon. And so you get to step in to these opportunities that become incredible experiences that lead you to connecting with someone else that is doing something a little bit different. So, for example, I was working at Nick at Night, and someone that was part of our art directing team, here we are building a big, fantastic set. And they tell me about another position that is at Channel 13. And so I tap into that, and it's a totally different, it's still artistic. It's immediate news. It's a news magazine show, and I'm involved behind the scenes, editing and reading script and doing a lot of research. And so that becomes, it just takes you to a different direction where you went into film school and then stepped out. And it just, there's so many different avenues. So when you start, you kind of, in your early days where we did not have social media to find your niche, ended up making these connections, and they became career moves because some opportunities are just too big to pass. And you kind of come to an agreement like, okay, well, it's not this exactly, but it's this, and I enjoy it. And then you go for it. And from that, something else blooms. And you're not necessarily a tumbleweed. You create this root system in the city. And that leads you to opportunities. It led me to UCLA, which led me, for example, prior to that. So working in art directing, I painted a mural that I had never painted before, something of that scale. It was 300 square feet. And that opportunity went sour, where they couldn't afford to pay me the agreed upon budget, and which seems to be something emblematic of the industry. You know, artists don't get recognized as craftspeople, as people that are doing a job, right?
Yes.
Can you just do this or can you just do that? And I mean, we wouldn't necessarily ask a plumber, can you just add another pipe this way? But, you know, so this project went sour, but that led me to another connection from all of that energy from that project, led me to a connection with Ken Twitchell. So now I'm assisting, you know, an artist, a world-renowned muralist of Los Angeles, painting these murals that I first saw when I came from Mexico in the back of the car, the back seat of the car. My landmarks were the murals, and some of them were from Ken Twitchell. And here I walk into a studio and I see these murals being painted. And it was kind of a culture shock. Like, what is this doing in here? They're murals, they're outside. And so he became my teacher, my mentor. I was his assistant, and we restored 3 of his murals. And so these opportunities just kind of collided. I am the grandniece of a well-renowned Russian Mexican artist, Vladi. And so I've had that root system that was from Mexico. And then coming here, it just felt so natural. So LA has these connections because everyone is somehow connected to some form of artistic endeavor, whether it's music and film and art and murals, art directing for movies and graphic design. And it just becomes that everyone does a little bit of everything else. We become multidisciplinary, to try to make it in Los Angeles. You become, a server and bartender extraordinaire while you are also an incredible muralist, So that tends to happen in this city. That tends to happen. And so that led me further on to my career, where I came to a crossroads, and it was a decision that was very easy for me to make because I just drew on those root systems that I had traversed in the city, right? And so, but now the city is also more empowered by social media. Now you do find enhanced connections. You meet people in your niche that you become long friends. And you have never met. They've been supporters of your work. They eventually you do meet, and it's like an old friend, but you've only just met through social media. So that has opened up the art world in a different way to anybody. It's not just held by a certain amount of galleries, the museum system. It's people are becoming their own galleries. And showcasing themselves. So I think Los Angeles, everyone is multidisciplinary. Everyone.
Right. It does make sense. Yes, absolutely. Like also the way you're describing it, it totally makes sense. And it also sounds as if your entire journey, your path in art has brought you to this place in your life right now when you're working on this remarkable collaboration. It must have been an absolute dream of yours to do this kind of work.
I will be honest with you. I had a lot of pinch me moments, because is this really happening? This is just everything that I wished for, I longed for.
Yes.
And I got an incredible opportunity. Judy Baca was my professor at UCLA. And because of her, I was done with all my graduation credits, but I wanted so badly to take her class, and I had a grant. And so I just took an additional year of college just so that I could take her class. And because that's where the connection of the main artery of my root system, I identified it immediately, right? Because, you're in college and you're wondering, where am I going to go with this? What am I going to do? What are my next steps? But when I took her class, it was beyond the Mexican mural. And it was talking to me on so many different levels, right? My short time history in Mexico, my early adult history in Los Angeles. And it culminated in this one class, but I'm done. I'm supposed to graduate. And I took an extra year. And it was the best decision ever, because I found my niche.
Wow.
I found, your people. And so taking her class, I got an opportunity to also curate. And I had curated at UCLA and had expertise with that in that area. But that also because I love to write, and I was an art history major. There's plenty of writing there, and curatorial was the way that I thought would be a more sure shot for me. I will always be an artist, but it just felt there's that certain degree of uncertainty in that world, right? And I thought going in and doing the background, being the curatorial part, was going to secure me a livelihood. And it turned out that it was a combination of both. It's just because I didn't have a plan B. I had two plan A's, and I continued to equally nurse them, and we wove together into this tapestry that's become my career.
Right.
But it was something that I knew I loved, two things, but they were somehow related. And, being acclimating myself to the city and acclimating myself to a livelihood, throughout my life, you acclimate to these two projects, right? Where I'm curating, and maybe I've never curated my own work, but when I'm curating, I don't think about my art, right? I have the ability to completely disconnect, and I'm not thinking about, well, I would have done it in this way or that, but I do have a different focus that I'm able to tap into.
You're in full support of their artists and their work that you're curating.
Right. And so now my new role, I collaborate with incredible talent of contemporary mural movement. I'm working with Judy Baca, of course, with the expansion of the Great Wall of Los Angeles. And we're painting an additional half mile of mural on the Tahunga Wash. And she painted it back from 76 to 84. And there are decades of the history of Los Angeles, the untold history of Los Angeles, from the perspective of the underrepresented, the women, minorities, etc. And we came together serendipitously, but it's a wonderful and cohesive team. We work together, we collaborate, we have input with each other's work. I've never had that before. And it is just enriched the work incredibly, because, you really have someone to bounce ideas off, where I find myself in the studio when I'm doing my own work, and I'm like, does this work? Does this, you have no one to bounce these ideas that you're having, but in collaboration, it's a whole new dynamic. And you check you still, as an artist, you have a little bit of ego, but you learn to check it at the door and open up to greater possibilities for the benefit of the whole.
Right.
And, working with Kim Martinez, with Erin Yoshi, Johanna Pothing, Ricardo Mendoza, it's just incredible. Tanya, I mean, we have people that are living, and now because of technology, we're able to work remote. We have two Canadian artists. We have an artist in Utah. We have an artist in Oakland, in the high desert, in Whittier, and I'm in Los Angeles. Judy is in Venice, and as well as with the researchers. So I oversee the research for the extension of the project. We have 6 panels that are going to be 350 feet long by 10 feet high.
Wow.
Times 6 of mural. Every panel is every panel, I call it a panel right now, but it's a narrative, tells the story of each decade. So starting from the 1960s and finishing up to 2020. And that's culminated into curated an exhibition at the Deitch Gallery in Hollywood about the work, about the process of how we're bringing collaborative work, research, the depth to where we get the resources from, right? From interviewing people that were there, Mike Davis, Reverend Lawson, Maria Elena Durazo, and these are people that have these lived experiences in certain decades, and they inform the work that becomes a sketch, that becomes a coloration, that becomes a mural.
Wow, that's very impressive.
And working with the team, we have 6 researchers, we have 7 artists, and the IT team that is just incredible. We have digital artists that are solid. And so this collaboration, we have an incredible team that understands the ultimate goal, and everyone's input is held in high regard and taken with respect and consideration and incorporated when it makes sense. And only, it just benefits the project as a whole.
Yes.
It's an incredible project. I've never experienced something like that. So I do have a lot of pinch me moments. So I guess I can talk now that I guess I can talk about it because I believe as of today it was announced, but we are also having an exhibition on the project at LACMA that will open the end of October 29th.
Mm-hmm. Wow, October 29th. I'm putting it to my calendar.
And that I'm not even gonna go into details of what that's gonna be, but it's going to be incredible.
Beautiful.
That show is gonna knock your socks off.
Well, Rio, my question to you is, what drives you to create public art? Because murals very often become iconic. And what kind of impact do you hope to achieve through your murals?
Community is a big thing for me because that's what they conveyed. They made me feel that I was in my community. You knew where you were. You know where you are by certain landmarks. And in Los Angeles, many times that's a mural. And we're losing a lot. We've lost an incredible amount. But there are techniques and technologies that have been developed by Nathan Sackheim, by Kuba Sackheim, his son, that restore murals. They bring them back to life from where you thought that artwork was never going to survive once it's got painted over. No, they've been restored and brought back. And we need a lot more support, because what murals do is create community, right? There's all the areas in Los Angeles. You have Chinatown, you have Little Tokyo, the Filipino areas, and all our Little Armenia. They themselves have murals that tell the story of their migration to Los Angeles and their acculturation to Los Angeles, their community building in Los Angeles. And those murals tell the story of that said community. So if you're venturing out with a friend to have some Armenian food and you go to Little Armenia and you see the murals, you're going to acclimate to that. And that also becomes your community, because it was just 15 minutes from your home. And the same thing was everything else. So murals in such a way, they are part of our community. They tell our story, and you don't have to go to a gallery. You don't have to go into a museum. You don't have to know anything about art to know that you are in a specific community. They're very democratic. And that's community building. I think with the benefits of technology, we're losing a lot of connections within our community. And so I think that murals are so big, you can't ignore them, that even if you're on your phone, you're going to see this burst of color on a wall as you're walking, and you're going to look. And you're probably like, oh, this is where I make a left, right? They tell you that story. So for me, murals are community.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's as if the community makes themselves being seen through the murals, because
absolutely.
You go from one place to another. In Los Angeles, we have so many different neighborhoods, and you cannot often tell what exact neighborhood you're in. But if there are murals, you can actually see it as a painting right in front of you, and you can feel the story of this community through the painting. I love how it described it, that the murals tell the story of the community.
Absolutely. And the talent and skill that is everywhere right now, it's ubiquitous, is incredible too. There's so many diverse artists working, with aerosol. They're working with paint. They're working with tile. And there's so many different mediums that become a mural that they're just stunning. They're artwork. They're the jewels of the city, the jewelry.
Yes, I can see that very clearly. Wow, you have chosen quite a path for yourself, and it must have been like a very, very long journey. And now you are, creating something that is very close to your heart, and you can express yourself so beautifully through your art and collaborating with so many wonderful artists. So this is a story of success of being an artist in Los Angeles, and it also shows our city from such a positive point of view that if you really stick to what you do and you don't mind also doing multiple disciplines and, support yourself throughout the way, that it can bring you to really wonderful collaborations and can bring you to work on what really warms your heart.
But I don't shake off the journeys that I've had. I don't shake off the journeys that I've had because I draw on all of that experience.
Yes.
Every single thing I do today completely draws on my work in the restaurants, and my work in everything that I've ever done.
Yes.
Every project, whether I was at Channel 13 or I was at designing a movie set, I'm drawing on all of that experience. So it was not for naught. Someone may think about it and think about it as being a tumbleweed, but it's not. These root systems we get to tap into. At least I do.
Yes. Well, you are very aware about it. And it's wonderful that you're sharing this right now, because I think every human being draws the experiences that, they need, or the experiences they are within themselves. And we should all be aware of that, because nothing ever happens for no reason at all. Everything that happens to us or with us is for a certain reason, and we just need to learn from that and just take it further and evolve.
Absolutely. It's like they're building blocks, right? You're building this wall of knowledge, and every brick is part of your journey.
Very true.
And without it, you can't build on top of it.
100%. Well, Rio, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation.
You're welcome.
And I hope it will be an inspiration to many artists who are, still paving their way. And there is so much to explore. There is so much to do. And the most important thing is also to believe in oneself.
Absolutely. If anything, the way the community can respond to the artists that are looking in their path is to buy art, buy local art. Don't buy the stuff that's over at the grocery store that's just prints that are, no, you can't afford to buy original art, and you're investing in someone whose future is so bright, and you'll be a part of that.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Rio, for your time. And I'm wishing you all the very best in your future work and various beautiful projects.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much. It was an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today.
Oh, pleasure was all mine. Thank you, Rio. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for tuning in to feel and experience the murals of Los Angeles with my special guest, Rio Diaz. If you enjoy my podcast, In the Mood for California, please sign up for future episodes at your preferred platform, and please leave your feedback. I really appreciate your time and support. You can follow me on Instagram at In the Mood for California, and check out my website, www.inthemoodforcalifornia.com. I'm a realtor with Beverly & Company Luxury Properties, and my license number is 019-78714. Selling and buying homes with soul is not just my real estate strategy. It is an intuitive and holistic approach that embraces your values, aspirations, and conscious intentions. If you want to discover the power of mindfulness in your real estate journey with my compassionate guidance, I'm here for you. In our next adventure, we will embark on a journey through the rich history of multifamily housing within the city, delving deep into this often overlooked facet of Los Angeles architectural heritage. So looking forward to this experience with you.
In the mood for California, feel the soul of old Hollywood